And welcome into this edition of ACAP Today for the week of December 12th, 2022. I'm Jason Parent with Aroostook County Action Program. On this week's edition of ACAP Today, we're going to talk with Aroostook County's HUB Coordinator, Shirley Caron. She's going to explain what HUB is and what initiatives she's working on to help individuals experiencing homelessness in our area, working across a multi-sector group of partners here in Aroostook County, including ACAP. She's going to talk about that in just a minute. But before we get to Shirley and that feature interview, we're going to first turn to the news and information that you can use again for the week of the 12th of December, 2022. And we begin in the news and information that you can use this week by reminding folks as cold weather sets in and winter begins, the Home Energy Assistance Program is taking new customers. We are anticipating additional information from the state of Maine, and we will be having an additional program, it sounds like. As of the recording time of this broadcast, we didn't have details on that, but it's likely that folks may have heard about it through the media. And if you're looking for information on that program or on our general home energy assistance program, we encourage you to call the number there on your screen, 768-3053. I will let you know that our call volume has been extremely high. As a matter of fact, we've been logging between 400 and 500 calls each morning. So we encourage you to please be patient. If you're looking for information, please leave your name and phone number, leave a message, and we will get back to you. It's sometimes taking as much as or just a little over 48 hours for folks to get back to individuals to get a message through. So please be patient with us. There's a high call volume right now. And if you are in an emergency, please state so in your message as we move forward. Power Match program is a partnership with Versant Power, where they are matching donations of up to $200,000 for customers in need at ACAP. We are encouraging individuals out there in the community as you're looking at your year-end giving or looking to make a difference in your community as we approach the holiday season to consider doubling your donation to our agency through the Versant Power Matching Program. You can go to the ACAP website at using the Get Involved tab and the Donate button to connect with us through this Power Match program that Versant Power was so generous in putting out. This will provide neighbors, friends and neighbors to get electric bill utility or electric bill assistance as they need this winter. And obviously with the cost of energy right now, it's most helpful for those that are unable to support themselves at this particular time. Maine's Workforce Collaborative continues to offer special workshop sessions in partnership with others across the state, including ACAP. These workshops include Maine's Employment and Training Program, a general info session, things like interviewing tips and tricks, making career choices, resume and cover letter development, and job preparation and retention tools and tips, as well as other things to navigate employment. A link to the registration page can be found on ACAP's website on the workforce development page, and we encourage you to take a look at these. They're free sessions and they're offered virtually and taught by professionals, including those from ACAP, but across the state of Maine as well. CoverMe.gov, it's that time of year again, and we continue with open enrollment now through the 15th of January of next year. There's about a month left in this program for open enrollment. And of course, if you have a qualifying incident, you can enroll for coverage in the course of the year, but this is the open enrollment period. ACAP is offering assistance with helping to navigate this program. If you are looking for health insurance through the open marketplace or just would like to get some options to see how much it might cost you or members of your family, you can contact Lisa Bates here at ACAP at lbates@acap-me.org, or you can call her at 764-3721 at extension 6. And we encourage folks to take advantage of this program to get enrolled in the open healthcare marketplace, insurance marketplace here in the state of Maine. The community cupboards that are located across Aroostook County include the one photographed here at ACAP 771 Main Street location. If you are in need of food assistance for a quick, getting a quick meal or getting something to eat while the food pantries are not open or other food is inaccessible to you, these are perfect resources for that. You can also visit our website, the ACAP website, for the Aroostook County Food Resource Guide. It's found under our news and publications page, and you can find out not only where community cupboards are located, but where other resources are available to help with food insecurity. In addition to being a resource for individuals who need help with nutrition assistance or with food at this time, the community cupboard is also actively receiving donations We can receive donations of non-perishable food items to put in the community cupboard, or cash donations where we will purchase items that we will ensure stay stocked in it. So please do reach out to us at 764-3721 if you can be of any assistance as it relates to our community cupboard. The need is extremely high at this time. Next to the community cupboard at ACAP's 771 Main Street Customer Service Center in Presque Isle is our community closet, which is our outdoor project at 771 Main Street. Again, this, like the community cupboard outside and nearby, is available to anyone in need 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And right now, obviously, the need is very high for warm winter clothing, including coats, as you see here in the picture. So if you would like to drop off an item, you can do it 24/7, just like folks who need to pick up an item can do. If we are open and it's during regular business hours, we do encourage you to bring the clothing inside so that we can sort it and get it out on the appropriate racks. But again, the clothing can be left in the community closet overnight for us to process the next day. We don't want there to be any impediment to either donating clothing to us or for individuals who need clothing or warm winter gear, especially at this time of year, to get them. We are also reminding folks out there in the Aroostook County community through the efforts of our prevention team that you can dispose of your unwanted or unused medications at any Aroostook County Police Department at this time. This is through the Aroostook Drug Take Back Initiative. There was this fall and will be again next spring, a drug take back day in which designated days in the spring and in the fall are set aside to help individuals think about bringing their medication, their unwanted or unused medications in for appropriate disposal. But as a heads up, you are able to do that at any time at most Aroostook County Police Departments. So we encourage you to bring unwanted or unused prescription drugs, expired or the like, to your local police station for appropriate disposal, so it doesn't get into the water system or it doesn't get into the wrong hands. The IRS and the Security Summit are encouraging folks to stay safe while shopping online this season and have issued a number of tips and tricks for that, including encouraging you to shop at sites where the web address begins with HTTPS, the S is for secure communications, and to look for the padlock icon on the browser window. You can see there's a number of other tips there that you can certainly visit through the IRS website for these holiday season safe shopping tips online in particular. And now turning to our COVID-19 news and related to the COVID-19 vaccine, is a great time now to get your booster. If you are over 12 years of age and you have not had any updated vaccine in the last 2 months, now is a great time to help get protected against Omicron. The COVID-19 vaccine is available through various locations here in Aroostook County, including local pharmacies and healthcare providers. If you want a list of vaccination sites, you can go to the maine.gov website listed there on your screen. You can also give us a call here at ACAP, and our team of receptionists would be glad to help get you connected with a vaccine appointment in a community, in a location nearest you. And free at-home COVID-19 tests are available. They're both available through covidtest.gov and accesscovidtest.org. We also last week received a shipment of 500 COVID-19 tests that are available for pickup and through distribution at ACAP 771 Main Street. So if you are in need of a COVID-19 test, an at-home take test, you can either go to either one of these websites, or you can come to the ACAP 771 Main Street Presque Isle office during regular business hours, and we would be happy to give you one or more of these free available COVID-19 at-home tests. And we also are continuing to provide our COVID-19 isolation and quarantine support systems, which include provision of emergency groceries and household supplies to help cover the duration of a quarantine or isolation. Please do give us a call if you are in need of those or any of these other services and suddenly finding yourself with COVID-19. You can also complete a digital online referral at the website listed there through the Department of Health and Human Services website of the state of Maine, or contact us here at ACAP at 764-3721, and we can assist you with getting that direct assistance provided to your household. And lastly, in this week's news and information that you can use, we want to pass along, as we have been in most of these broadcasts, that our ACAP navigators are standing by if you are in need of any assistance. This is especially helpful for individuals who don't quite know where to turn right now, don't know what programs and services might be available to them, and are finding themselves struggling to get by. So we certainly encourage you to give us a call here at ACAP, again at 764-3721. And we can help connect you with a navigator that will help connect you with both services inside our agency and outside of our agency, as is most appropriate and as is most help to you. And that's this week's news and information you can use. With that, I am so pleased to welcome to the program Shirley Caron, who's Aroostook's HUB Coordinator, and that's Aroostook District 9 out of their 9 districts in the state of Maine, and Aroostook is numbered last. But Shirley, it's great to have you on the program.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so let's talk about it. Folks are wondering, what does this mean? What does being a HUB coordinator mean? And talk about the specifics of some of the things that you're doing in this role.
So my position includes a lot of meetings, collaborating with Aroostook County, a lot of members of the county who provide services for people that are experiencing homelessness. We collaborate together to come up with ideas to move forward with creating collaborating services for people with homelessness to move into their own apartments or housing, or so that is the start of it. There's a lot of meetings. We are currently working 2 hubs right now. We're piloting a program for coordinated entry, which is so it's a process where they're doing assessments with people who are experiencing homelessness to help provide housing vouchers. To initially, what it's going to do is to help provide quality data for us to prioritize a list that we will be creating through the assessments, which will be called the by name list, so that we can prioritize people who have been in homeless situations longer and make sure that they are receiving services sooner than people who are just recently experiencing homelessness. So there's the veteran section of it, there's the chronic homeless section of it, individuals and families. So that is piloting right now in 2 hubs, and it has been a fantastic experience for both the hubs. The numbers that are coming in and the people that are being reached are phenomenal. So I feel like when it finally does get to Hub 9, it's definitely going to benefit the county for sure. So we are doing that. We're working on policies and procedures to make sure that everything is done correctly, and all the specifics are met to everybody's standards. We're working on, after the by name list is created, we're going to be doing case conferencing. So I will be leading meetings for our by name list with service providers in the area, and so we can make sure that everybody's being covered, that nobody's being missed. So I'll be working closely with the shelters, the path provider, anybody that's experiencing homelessness will be reaching out to me, so that we make sure that they are on the by name list and ready to receive, what they need to help them move forward.
Now, I know, Shirley, one of the things that's been talked about through the hub, the hub coordinators across the state of Maine, is an initiative called Built for Zero. Tell me what Built for Zero stands for and how it's going to be incorporated into the work that the hubs, you as a coordinator, are engaging in.
So Built for Zero is the initiative that is to reach functional zero, which there's 105 communities that participate in Built for Zero. 14 of them have actually ended homelessness. 64 have achieved real-time data, which is it's super important to have the real-time data so that the numbers are there and they're true, and we can follow that structure. And 42 communities have reached measurable reduction in homelessness. So, I mean, functional zero will never mean that there's 0 people that are homeless, but it means that we are bringing the numbers down and, not having such a high number, high population of people that aren't being reached and receiving services that they need. So Built for Zero and Community Solutions, just a little background on it. Maine State Housing all collaborated together with the statewide homeless council to determine that, this was actually a very good initiative to take for the state of Maine. So that was back in June of 2022. And then the HUB coordinators were hired in February of 21. So the process, it took a little bit of time to, help to understand where the state of Maine was with their needs and whatnot. And then moving forward with creating the positions and then hiring for the positions. But we have 2 positions right now that are open in southern Maine, but I believe that one of them may possibly soon be filled. So all the positions are up and going, and all of the HUB coordinators are fantastic, working hard with their communities and doing a lot of great things.
Now, I know one of the things that you're doing here in the Aroostook County community is working very closely with the Aroostook Homeless Stakeholders Group. Tell us a little bit about that group and what are some of the things that are being discussed at that table.
So it's a group of stakeholders throughout the county. I believe there's 73 members that I contact when I do reach out. We meet monthly to talk about services that each of them can help with, or they can pass on to other members of the group. They've just recently worked closely together, building relationships and coming together and creating a warming shelter. So that was a huge initiative that worked out very well. The shelter is doing their part with the 10 extra, and then ACAP is picking up any extra that needs to be, that can't go to the shelter because of space. So, just a group of people that have the same desire to help the community and keep people safe and keep people warm, just all working together and making it work for the county. A great bunch of people that have great ideas and solutions and just work well together.
Now, you mentioned ACAP Homeless Services of Aroostook. Are there who else, like what other kind of entities comprise representation on the Homeless Stakeholders Group?
There's mental health, the police departments, the hospitals, goodness, there's so many.
Is it as you think? Yes.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. Go right ahead.
Counseling related services, not just AMHC, but other sectors. Area on Aging is part of the group. Oh my goodness. There's several. I can't even
let's maybe shift topics and talk a little bit about what some of the conversations happen around the table. You mentioned the emergency, the wellness center for individuals experiencing homelessness, the warming center, I should say. What other kinds of things are discussed around the table at the Aroostook Homeless Stakeholders Group?
Just ways for the community to be better and help the community members. If one group, say Area on the Aging, is coming up with a program or a service for the community, they can share it at the stakeholders so that everybody in the stakeholders meeting can share it and know about it. ACAP does that as well. Hope and Prosperity does that. It's Prescott Housing Authority. It's just a place for people to share new new things that are coming up in their programs, new adventures that they're taking that are for the community.
Now, you've been working in and around individuals experiencing homelessness for a number of years. What are some of the things that you've seen? Obviously, the increase, the growth in the numbers, one thing, but what are some of the things that you've seen in recent years as it relates to things that are we're finding as maybe challenges working in this environment today?
Definitely housing resources. The housing resources up here are very slim. There's not a lot for anybody. You know, there's a lot of sectors that go into being homeless. Not everybody that is homeless has drug addiction or substance misuse or mental health. You know, there's so many different parts or so many different things that can create homelessness for a family. You know, if you lose your job, you can't pay your rent and then you're homeless. So, you know, I think in just recently, in just being part of the HUB coordinator position, I see a lot of stigmatism towards homelessness and, you know, people labeling homelessness and people who are experiencing it. And it's not always substance misuse and it's not always mental health. There's a lot of different factors that people don't take into consideration when, you know, I have conversations with people and they, you know, choose to label them. They just don't understand. Knowledge is key. And, you know, there's a lot of education, I believe, that can go into the community to help people understand that it's not always their fault and they don't choose to be homeless. You know, there are some people who in the summer are okay with it, but when it comes to, you know, we're the snow belt and it gets cold here and they don't recognize that it's hard. It's not always a choice. It's a matter of trying to live and, you know, stay alive.
And I think what you were talking about in part there is the stigma. And I know that that's become a real challenge and sort of a hyper partisan sort of environment, and people sort of saying things and expressing information on social media that might not always be accurate. It does become challenging to work and to try to support individuals in this environment when you feel like, I think you must feel like you're somewhat under attack sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. You know, because I've made phone calls before and gotten answers, you know, those people, we don't want those people. And I'm like, those people are your neighbors, they're community members, they're somebody's family, you know, brother, sister, aunt, uncle, they're human beings. And that's what matters the most. It's not just those people. And, you know, a lot of it goes back to not in my backyard. Just because you don't drive down the streets of Presque Isle and see people sleeping on park benches or, you know, right down Main Street, it doesn't mean that it's not there, because it is. And we do a very good job of helping those that we have and that we see, but we can't always fix everything. We need the community to be part of everything, that every part of this initiative.
Yes, indeed. And so how can people, if they want to be part of this initiative, if they want to be part of the Aroostook Homeless Stakeholders Group, just learn more about the HUB coordinator and the role that you're filling, or the Built for Zero initiative, how can they best make that contact and that connection to get engaged?
They can email me. My email is scaron@acap-maine.org. They can call me at 764-3721 extension 229. And I'd be more than happy to help anybody understand or give them any information that they need. We are working right now on our point in time count, which will be January 24th. We are looking for volunteers for that. If you would like more information on that, please reach out to me and I can definitely give you information on that.
So let's stop there for a minute, Shirley, and explain to people what is a point in time count and what would they be volunteering to do if they give you their name?
So the point in time count is one night out of the year, January 24th, where we go out and talk to people who are homeless, seek to see if there are people who are homeless. And it's just a count that Maine State Housing does. And this year they're actually there's actually going to be an app for it. And even if you aren't somebody who can go out and walk around, if you have a business where you may have somebody that will be in your lobby because it's cold, that's a number that we could use. So, hospitals, police departments, anybody who has those kinds of contacts are definitely people that we need to hear from and need to have contact with, and we would love to be part of that night with us.
And that count is actually quite consequential in terms of future services for individuals experiencing homelessness, right? I mean, there's a direct connection between what Aroostook getting as much as close to that count as possible, and what those numbers represent on the backside of that point in time count.
Absolutely. Yes, it goes back to a lot of funding and just services that need to be provided. It has a lot of count per se, point in count, so it has a lot of hold on the numbers that we see, that we find, and the progress that goes into moving forward with what we're the government and Maine State Housing do with homelessness.
So what have we missed? What have we not talked about that you wanted to make sure people understood about the work that you're doing, or about work around individuals experiencing homelessness in this region?
I think that we've covered most of it. Data is very important for the job that I do, so numbers come in to play quite a bit. When the pilots are done and coordinated entry starts up here in our shelter, things will definitely move forward more for us up here. But right now, it's getting the policies taken care of. It's getting the pilots taken care of so that, everything can be ironed out from that, and, all the bugs removed per se. So yeah, I think January will be, there'll be a lot more moving forward with those things, the coordinated entry and the, the data, the by name list. So it's moving forward. It's just getting everything. I mean, the initial job was created from the ground up. There was nothing to go by. So we've kind of created our position as we've gone and moved forward through all of the 9 hubs.
Great. Well, it sounds like there's a lot more to come. I'm certain that we will probably sit down with you in 2023 and get caught up and get an update on the work of the regional hub coordinators, and advancing work into the Built for Zero initiative. Shirley Caron, I'm glad that you were my guest on this week's edition of ACAP Today. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Well, before Shirley and I leave you, we have one last task to do, and that's to show you this week's throwback snapshot of the week. As we're in the waning and final weeks here of ACAP's 50th anniversary, we've dedicated our weekly photo of the week to a throwback snapshot. And this is a very timely throwback snapshot this week, as it takes us back to a familiar scene this time of year, but one that actually happened back in 1982. This was at a 1982 ACAP Employee Appreciation Holiday Party, where someone from the North Pole came down for a visit with one of his elves pictured there at, again, the ACAP 1982 Staff Appreciation Holiday Party. And that does bring us to the end of this week's edition of ACAP Today, and a great time to say thank you to our dedicated ACAP team team for all that they do at this time of year of thanks and giving and a season of caring. We want to express our sincere appreciation to all of our ACAP team members for the difference that they make in the lives of people in Aroostook County each and every day. It's profound, it's sincere, and it's heartfelt, the work that our team members do. And we say a hearty thank you to them as we show you this week's snapshot of the week. That's all that we have for you on behalf of Shirley and everyone here at ACAP. I hope you have a great week. I'm Jason Parent. Enjoy. See you next time.